Hi, welcome. So, in the next 5 minutes, we are going to pull back the curtain on all that tech that's been dominating the headlines. Blockchain, NFTs, the whole thing. My goal here is pretty simple. I want to help you understand what this is actually all about once you get past the hype. So, let's dive right in. Right. So, we're always hearing about Bitcoin's price going up and down, or some piece of digital art selling for millions. But what's the actual engine that's making all of this run? What's the big idea at the center of it all? Well, to get that, we've got to go right back to the beginning. And it all starts right here, with a technology called blockchain. The easiest way to think of it is as this ultimate digital record book. It's a shared, unchangeable ledger, and it's pretty much the bedrock for everything else we're going to talk about today. But, it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. Blockchains actually come in a few different flavors. On one end of the spectrum, you've got your public chains, like Ethereum. They're totally open, built for transparency, literally anyone can join. But on the other end, for more specific business needs, you get permissioned or consortium chains. These are perfect for something like tracking a supply chain where only the partners you know and trust need to see and share that info. So you might be wondering, how does this whole network agree on what's true if there's no central boss in charge? Well, that's handled by something called a consensus mechanism. And this is a really critical choice because it directly controls how secure the blockchain is, how fast its transactions are, and, this is a big one, how much energy it uses. So, okay, you've got this super secure, decentralized ledger. What's the very first thing you can build on it? Well, the answer that really grabbed the world's attention was a brand new form of digital money, cryptocurrency. Now, the two you've probably heard the most about are Bitcoin and Ether, but they actually have very different jobs. It really helps to think of Bitcoin as digital gold. It's mainly for storing value. Ether, on the other hand, that's more like digital fuel. It's the stuff you use to actually power all the apps and smart contracts that run on the Ethereum network. So, what does this look like in the real world? This example is perfect. Just imagine a worker sending 200 euros home to their family. Instead of the old, slow way, waiting days and paying crazy high banking fees, they use crypto. The money gets there in minutes, even if it's a weekend, and the fees are just a fraction of the cost. I mean, for millions of people, this isn't just theory, it's a total game changer. But hang on, what about those wild price swings we always hear about? That's a huge problem if you want to use it for everyday stuff, right? Well, the solution for that is something called stablecoins. And just like the name says, they are designed for stability, usually by being pegged to a real-world currency like the US dollar. This makes them way more practical for things like payments, where you need to know its value isn't going to crash overnight. Now, we absolutely have to be realistic about the risks here. Prices can be incredibly volatile, and if you lose your private keys, which are basically your password, your money is gone forever. No recovery. Then there are tax and legal rules you got to deal with, and when the network gets busy, the fees can really spike. It's a powerful tool, for sure, but you have to be cautious. Okay, so we have a secure ledger and we have digital money, but what if we could make that ledger programmable? What if we could build automated rules right into the system itself? That's where we get to the next truly revolutionary layer, smart contracts. The concept itself is simple, but the implications are just huge. A smart contract is just a program that lives on the blockchain and it runs automatically when certain conditions are met. Honestly, the best analogy is a vending machine. You put in the money, that's the condition, and the machine automatically gives you your snack. That's the execution. There's no cashier, no middleman, it's just code. And because they're programmable, they have some really incredible features. They work with no middleman, which cuts down on costs and complexity. The code is totally transparent, so anyone can look at it and check it. And once a smart contract is out there, it's completely tamper-proof. That combination creates this whole new automated form of digital trust. Digital escrow is a fantastic example. Let's just walk through it. A buyer puts up the funds, but they don't send them to the seller, they send them to the smart contract. The contract then holds those funds securely. As soon as the seller delivers the product or service, the contract verifies it, and boom, automatically releases the payment. The need for a trusted third-party escrow service just vanishes. Or hey, think about something like insurance. Imagine a policy for a farmer that automatically pays out the second an official weather report confirms a drought. There's no paperwork, no claims process, no waiting around for weeks. It's just an automatic payout based on data you can trust. That's the power of this. So, if smart contracts are these powerful automated rule setters, what can we actually do with them? Well, one of the most talked about answers is creating a totally new, verifiable way to prove you own unique items. And that, of course, brings us to NFTs. At its very core, an NFT, or a non-fungible token, is really just a unique entry on the blockchain. It acts like a public, verifiable proof of ownership. It's kind of like a digital deed that says you, and only you, own this specific thing. Now, to really get that term non-fungible, this comparison is perfect. A 10-euro bill is fungible. You can swap it for any other 10-euro bill and you have the exact same value. But a concert ticket for seat A7, that's non-fungible. It's totally unique. You can't just swap it for a ticket to a different seat. It represents one specific, non-interchangeable spot. And this idea of unique digital ownership can be applied to almost anything. We see it with digital art and collectibles, obviously. But think bigger. Event tickets that can't be faked, items in a video game that you actually own and can sell outside of the game, or even official documents like a university degree that anyone can verify in an instant. But here's a really important legal catch. Owning the NFT doesn't automatically mean you own the copyright to the asset itself. Think of it like this. You can own a signed print of a famous photograph, but that doesn't mean you own the rights to the original image. That legal link has to be made explicitly clear. So let's just put all these pieces together real quick and see the full picture. It all starts with the blockchain. That's the foundation. On top of that, you build cryptocurrency, which acts as the money of this new world. Then, smart contracts give you the programmable rules and logic. And finally, those rules let you create NFTs, which represent unique, ownable property. See how it all stacks up? Which leaves us with one last pretty big question. When you combine all these layers, a new kind of ledger, a new kind of money, new kinds of rules, and new kinds of property, are we just looking at some clever technology, or are we actually witnessing the very first building blocks of a completely new digital economy? And that's the idea I'll leave you with. Thanks for tuning in.